My good friend Jack Nicklaus once said, if you have the proper grip and the proper setup, you can be taught. And I agree with that. Well, let's start with the proper grip. The first thing that goes on the golf club is the left hand. My dad at age 6 put my hands on the golf club, and the first thing he said, son, turn that hand over so you see 2 knuckles in your left hand. Point the V that's formed between your thumb and forefinger right here toward your right shoulder, just like this. The left thumb goes down the right center of the shaft. My great friend and teacher, Stan Thirsk, does this with his new pupils. He takes the glove and he puts these 2 lines on the glove right here, and also the OB, which stands for out of bounds, which means that you want to place the club in your left hand right between those 2 lines right there and not where the OB is. The problem with people who have a grip where the club lays like this in the hand is that they can't grip onto the club tightly enough, so they over grip the golf club like this, causing too much tension in their arms and hands when they swing the golf club. With the club in this position right here, the left thumb goes down the top right of the shaft, the center right of the shaft. The right hand fits right over the top of the thumb right here. The pad of the thumb fits right over the thumb like this, and it goes into the 2 fingers right here of the right hand, and then you hold the club this way. Look at the right thumb. The right thumb doesn't go down the top or over here, it goes over to the left side of it. The V, as my dad said, should also be pointing to the right shoulder, but I do a little bit different. I put it just toward my chin, or just to the right of my chin this way. So basically your left thumb is on the right side of the shaft and your right thumb is on the left side of the shaft. Now the last thing I do with the grip, I want to teach people, is to split the forefinger from the middle finger a little bit on the right hand. That allows you to cradle the golf club a little bit easier without gripping on too tightly. Now let's talk about the 3 types of grips that you normally see. The one grip that I started with was the overlapping grip. This is the grip that is called the Vardon grip, with the little finger overlapping the forefinger and the middle finger of the left hand. The grip that Tiger Woods uses, and as well as Jack Nicklaus, is the interlocking grip, where you interlock those 2 fingers. And the last grip that you see a lot, and it's taught for mainly women because their hands are smaller and it allows for more power, is the full finger grip this way. Put all 4 fingers on the golf club. Now, some of the common mistakes people make with their grips are these, is that many people put the left thumb down the top of the shaft, straight down the top, and the right thumb down the top of the shaft like this. The problem with this is that it decreases the amount of hand speed you have in the golf swing. Watch what happens when I take this club back with an improper grip. I go back halfway like this, and the club just sticks up in the air like this. You can't break the wrists. Now, if I have it on there properly, with the left hand over, 2 knuckles, the right hand over, like this, watch how much more wrist break you have in the backswing. Look how easy it goes up there and sets like this. The proper grip allows you to do that. Now, if you have the 2 thumbs down the top of the shaft like this, it also causes a slice. When you push the club out like this, look what happens to the club face. The club face opens up. Conversely, if you have the left hand on the golf club too strong in this position where you see too many knuckles, this is the power position. A lot of people come in there and they'll get the nice power position like that. What happens at impact is the club face closes. So the proper grip goes on like this. Left hand on the club, see 2 knuckles, left thumb down the right center of the shaft, and the V pointing to your right shoulder. The right hand goes on with the pad of the right thumb over the left thumb, the right thumb to the left of the shaft, the V just to the right of my chin. One last thing. I like to put just a little bit of a gap between the forefinger and the middle finger right here to cradle the golf club. Now that is the proper grip like that, and let's see how it works. And that, my friends, is a lesson on the grip. Now that we've learned the proper grip, the question becomes, how firmly do we hold onto the golf club? In Hogan's 5 Fundamentals of Golf, he talks about the last 3 fingers of the left hand and the middle 2 fingers of the right hand. Those are the pressure points in your grip. I stress the same thing. The way I like to teach grip pressure is this. Simply take the club, put the club straight up in the air where it's lightest, and then let the club drop through your hands like this. Then put the club back in your hands, proper grip, then reduce your grip pressure until just before it drops, and then take the club and just take it to horizontal like this. You will feel an increase of grip pressure in your last 3 fingers of your left hand and the middle 2 fingers of the right hand just by doing that. That's as much grip pressure as you need holding onto the golf club. Jack Nicklaus talked about the 2 fundamentals, the grip and the setup. Let's talk about the setup. The setup, I like to say, is you're in the guarding position in basketball. If you're in this position right here, like this, you can move. I can move this way, I can move this way. I can move back, I can move forward. If you have your feet too wide, what happens, you can't move quickly enough. If they're too narrow, you move and you fall over. If your legs are too straight, then you can't move at all. And we see all those types of stances in golf. Too wide, too narrow, legs too straight. Now, this is how I like to teach the setup. I start from the ground up. The feet are shoulder width apart. Your toes should be slightly open. I think the left toe should be a little bit more open, the right toe like this. The knees are slightly flexed, and the right knee is kicked in like this, not out, or even straight up like this. It's kicked in just a little bit like that to help you brace on the inside of your right foot. Then, you have to stick your rear end out to counterbalance your top end being over. Now, let's talk about the back. I see too many people do this. Their rear end is tucked in and their shoulders are slumped like this. You need to stick the rear end out, and the upper back has to be straight and not slumped over this way. Make sure your upper back is straight. Your rear end stuck out, your knees are flexed, and you're on the balls of your feet, not the heels and not the front of your foot, the toes, but on the balls of your feet right there. And you also want to continue with your neck. You don't want your neck to be bent over this way like this too much, because that restricts your backswing. What you want is your neck to be an extension of your spine. And keep your chin up like this. Your chin can't be down like this. It must be up like this. Now, how far do we stand away from the ball? That's the question that most people ask. I mean, I don't know how far to stand away from the ball. We see people out there swinging with their arms out here like this. You don't do that. How you do it is very simple. You take the balanced position that I just taught you, and you allow your arms to swing freely and come together. Where they come together like this is where you grip the golf club. You grip the golf club right there. Then you move into the ball like that, and that is your setup position. Just like that. Now let's review this. Let's start from square one. Your stance, shoulder width apart, your toes slightly open. Kick the right knee in just a little bit like this. Knees are flexed, rear end is stuck out like this. Your back is straight from the rear end up. Your top of the back remains straight, and your chin is up, not down. Then, how far we stand away from the ball? Very simple. Let your arms hang, put the club in your hands, move into the ball, and we're ready to hit the shot.